Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Lady Yo, and welcome to So Serious Gaming. And if you haven't figured out already, I'm back on the Division. 1.8.2 changing the meta and balancing things out has actually made things. It's a lot more fun to play. I don't feel pressured into having to use Striker in order to count the mass amounts of Predmark and Nomad players and everything else. Now, don't get me wrong, Striker is the meta now. But Striker is easily beatable at the same time. And part of the way to doing that is burst damage. And I do have a couple of builds that are non-meta DPS builds, and they hit hard as hell. And they have crazy burst damage that can melt down pretty much any Striker player going. But I'm not bringing you one of those today. I'm bringing you more of a support build. But with this support build, you also get good burst damage for yourself as well. So you're not just sat at the back out of the fight, just kind of throwing skills out there for your teammates. You're able to be in the fight at the same time. So what we have is 5-piece tactician with a specialized backpack. Now, you could go inventive, but inventive for me is too situational. It's too reliant on... I don't even have one here either. It's too reliant on you being at full health. So it's, you know, if you take a little bit of damage, then you've lost your skill power kind of thing. Whereas with specialized, it's always there no matter what. So that thrown in with, you know, 5k stamina, 4k firearms, I'm getting a decent chunk of skill power back out of it. So the main idea behind this is I'm focusing it on the pulse. And there's a couple of things on the build that I do want to change, but it still works extremely well as it is now. It will just work even better when I'm finished with it. But I really wanted to show you guys it. We've had some insane gameplays with it already. And a couple of the teammates that I've played with, you know, if they've been, say, running Banshee, they've been critting players for 45, 50k when this pulse has been fully stacked and going out. And it's insane. I mean, even myself, 4k firearms, I pop the pulse, and I'm able to crit players for like 30k. It's pretty savage. So the way I'm running it is, as you can see, firearms are 4.2k, stamina's 5.1, electronics is 6.5. The firearms make sure that I have, you know, talents unlocked that I want to use, but I have, you know, decent damage. I've got 17.5k base damage, which is okay. You know, it could be higher, but I mean, again, I'm not a DPS build, I'm a support build. And my toughness allows me to, you know, actually take some kind of damage as well. And the housing running is deadly and unforgiving. And of course, the card counter as well. The magazine is mag size, crit damage and rate of fire. The red dot is crit damage, headshot damage, crit chance. And the loud vent is critical hit damage, crit chance, headshot damage, and of course, increased threat. And the underbarrel is crit damage, accuracy, and reload speed. Now, this is my main weapon. This is the weapon I use for kind of dealing damage, things like that. Then I have my utility weapon, which is my elbower. Now, I run talented on this, so if a player's down, I'll use this to finish them off. I will get a skill power buff for 20 seconds, plus determined will also cool down all my skills, including my ult. And then I have intense on there as well. This is kind of like a dual purpose kind of utility. The way I'm looking at it is, I can use this to finish players off, get my skill power buffs and cooldowns and things that I need. But if we're also getting rushed and overrun, I can just swap over to this, fire a few bullets off at people, reload, and just keep doing that over and over, just to keep trying to apply the on fire status effect to give us some crowd control that isn't reliant on me throwing a skill on the ground. And it works out pretty well as well. So on the magazine, we've got mag size, crit chance, rate of fire. Then we got hollow sight with crit chance, headshot damage, and crit damage. The muzzle is crit damage, crit chance, and headshot damage. And the underbarrel is stability, crit damage, and accuracy. I also have my sword off, which runs predatory, sustained, and determined. So if I'm in need of some kind of some kind of sustain, some extra healing, some extra health, you know, a bit more survivability for myself, whilst also getting the cooldowns on my ult and things like that. I can just switch over to my sword off, punch the guy out and go back to my main gun as well. So it's options there for me to use what I need as I need it, kind of thing. So onto the vest. The vest rolled for skill power, health, skill haste and ammo capacity. And then within that we have two firearms mod, a stamina mod, and both of those are rolled for skill haste. We have the mask, which is rolled for electronics, skill power, blind and death resistance. Now personally, the blind death resistance I would change out for like bleed, burn or shock. One of those three, in my opinion, like those three are the main three that you want to go for. But it is what it is. The main thing is skill power and electronics. The mod for that, by the way, is a stamina with crit chance. I do have a stamina. I don't know why that's crit chance actually. I have a stamina mod with skill haste, which I will probably swap that out for. I'm not actually sure why that's like that. Then the knee pads again are rolled for electronics. Then we have crit damage, disorient resist, bleed resist, and burn resist. And the mod is stamina with skill haste, and the performance mod is pulse critical hit damage. Now the reason I've gone for crit damage on this over skill power is to ensure that I still have my burst damage as well. Now you could, if you really wanted to give your pulse more damage output, give yourself slightly better heals, you could go with skill power instead of crit damage on there. But for me personally, I just want to go with crit damage. I want to make sure that I have decent burst damage, and you know, that's going to help with that. So the holster is rolled with skill haste, and the performance mod is critical hit chance. Now, the critical hit chance mods, I believe, I have this one, and then there's one on my backpack, I believe. When I get two pulse critical hit damage mods to replace them with, they will be going. They're not there because I want them there. They're there because I don't have the pulse critical hit damage mods that I want. So, yeah, once I get those, my pulse will be even nastier. The gloves, again, this is something I kind of want to change because enemy armor damage I'm stuck with, and ideally I want skill haste, but you know, it is what it is. So they're rolled for electronics, crit damage, enemy armor damage and SMG damage, but like I say, the enemy armor damage is going to get changed for skill haste. And then, like I was saying before, specialized backpack. This is rolled for firearms, skill power, ammo capacity. And then a stamina mod with skill haste, pulse crit hit damage mod, and a pulse crit hit chance mod. Again, the crit hit chance mod is going to be going for a crit damage once I can actually find one. So, if we look on the character sheet, we have 29.5% crit chance, 127% crit hit damage. If I pop my pulse, that'll take me to the max anyway. Critical hit damage, I mean, already my pulse is 30.7. So that's going to put me at 157.7 crit damage, essentially. That's before I stack up, or, you know, before I proc talented or anything like that. So, again, that could be even, you know, crit hit damage could be even higher when that pulse is active, but that's where I get my burst damage from. And then if we go to the skill power, we've got 273,625 skill power with 48% skill haste, which is pretty decent. And again, when I'm stacking up and I'm proccing talented, things like that, you know, that, again, skill power shoots up. Plus, I've also got skill haste to roll onto the gloves, so again, that will improve. So, as you can see, without any stacks or any buffs, my pulse is 30.7 crit chance and 30.7 crit damage, with an 18.9 second cooldown, and it lasts for about 20 seconds. So it cools down before it's actually needed again, which is perfect. That's, in my opinion, that is more than ideal. The healing station, now the way that I work this, I will either use the first aid or I will use the support station. It depends on what my team needs. If we have a reclaimer, then I'll use a heal. I'll throw a booster shot down. It's an extra booster shot to go down every 18.9 seconds. Probably less than that when you take into account talents such as like triage and strike back and things like that. If we don't have a reclaimer and things like predator's mark are being an issue, I will go with the immunizer. Heals for about 9k, depending on if I have any buffs for it or anything like that. And it cools down in 13.5 seconds. So if I'm even just having to use it as a heal, there's a heal there for every 13.5 seconds. And this, again, it depends what's needed. I can go with defib, I can go with overdose, I can go with booster. They're all going to give a good amount of healing to myself and for my team. And yeah, it basically ensures my team has what they need when they need it. And then the talents, they kind of depend really. If things like Predator's Mark and turrets and all that stuff is being a bit of an issue, I will just switch triage out and go with adrenaline. I'm still using strike back. Every time I get to lower health, I'm going to get a cooldown on my skills. And because I'm using things such as determined, it's not a huge issue having to rely on triage. This means that, if I've used a medkit, I kind of get that immunity from status effects in between my box being down and things like that. So again, that helps. And then of course critical save and combat medic. Now, I mean, if you really wanted and adrenaline isn't needed, depending on the server you're on, you can run death by proxy, destroy a hostile's deployed skill to increase skill power by 20% for 30 seconds. Or even wildfire, with intense on the Elvoa, you could use that and try and set more than one person on fire at once. Or you've of course got things like on the move, and there's a couple of others that could be worth using as well. But this is the way that I like to set it up and go with it. It works out really well, especially when things like Predmark and stuff are going. If they're not and they're not really an issue, I'll just go with triage, and just to help get my skills back even faster. And it works out really well. As you've seen in the gameplay, it was really useful. My teammates were able to melt everything, but I was also doing decent damage as well, and on a few occasions were able to face trade against people who were running more DPS builds, and my pulse was allowing me to melt them down. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I've been having a lot of fun using this. Like I say, you guys know me for being more, DPS build, face tanking, all that kind of stuff. So for me to use a more support-based build has been really fun. And the fact that I've been able to not just use it, but actually stick with it and enjoy it has been really good. And, that for me is extremely important. And that's why I wasn't really enjoying 1.8. And it is also why I'm really enjoying 1.8.2, because I don't feel like I'm stuck to using one build at the moment. So yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's great. I think you guys, especially people who like to play support, are going to really enjoy this build. If you prefer to be more DPS, still give this build a try, because you will still feel in your element with the amount of damage that you do, but at the same time, you're going to be able to play that support role, play a role that you maybe perhaps don't usually play. So yeah, I appreciate you guys dropping by and watching, man. Drop your comments below, let me know what you think. If you use a similar build, if you decided to try this one, whatever it is, man, drop your comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe too and turn on your notifications, and whenever we go live, whenever we drop a new video, anything like that. And yeah, man, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so these outro bits are a little bit awkward for me again, because I haven't done one in a good few months. So yeah, I'm going to end the awkwardness there. You beautiful people have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next live stream or the next video. Peace.
If you want to clear your manhunt, reach the indicated location.
Warning. Readings indicate this area is contaminated.
Ungrateful goddamn civilians.
Now leaving the contaminated area. Warning. You've disavowed the mission. This action will mark you as rogue. Leaving contaminated area.
Go to the indicated location, and that ought to clear your manhunt. to the indicated location, and that ought to clear your manhunt.